Welcome
Oh,
back to another episode of To Thine Own Self Be True. I am that I am. This is episode number 4. I'm so excited. This is episode number 4, and we are with Eileen Underwood today. And Eileen is a dear, dear, sweet soul who I met through another dear, sweet soul a couple of years ago now. I think it's almost a year and a half, 2 years now. It's been at least.
two years.
Yeah, at least that. And I just loved her light. She had such a beautiful energy about her. The very first time I heard her voice, I felt like champagne was all around me. It was just this wonderful, beautiful, bubbly, just lovely energy. So Eileen Eileen does a multitude of things. I'm going to ask her to actually sort of explain what she does to everybody. But in this particular segment, we are going to talk about Eileen's journey and how she stayed true to herself, what her what her life is like now, and as it was, moving through all of this, trying to stay true to herself stuff. And yeah, I know you're going to enjoy Eileen, and we're going to put her info at the end. She's going to tell us a little bit about that, and we're going to put in the comments, or excuse me, in the description, so that when you're looking for some insight, guidance, or some healing, you can call Eileen, and that's what she does. So let's take it over to Eileen, and welcome. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you, Brenda. And thank you for having me on your show and the fourth show. That was awesome. I love, because I always see 444 on the clock. So my journey began when I was a little girl. Like it started. I could always see the Holy Spirit. I could always see Jesus. And I always thought everyone else could. And I would have visits from the angels. And so I always had that close contact with God and the Holy Spirit. And so as I proceeded through my life, I got married. I was married for 28 years. And it felt right to be married to my former husband. We have 2 children together. And things just got pretty chaotic, where there was points in there that I didn't know if I was going to make it through, if I was going to live, or if I was going to die. And I just surrendered. To the process. I really focused on staying true to me. And even though I don't like hurting anyone, and that's not who I am. So anyways, I was pretty scared as the relationship was coming to an end. And it was the year before. I was out in my garden, my back garden, which was on a golf course. And I was out there, and Mother Mary appeared to me. I would have visits from Mother Mary. And I'm not Catholic. I was raised Baptist, actually. So anyways, I had this visit from Mother Mary, and she had told me, she goes, little one. They would always use the term little one, and that's how I always knew that it was God or Jesus or Mother Mary speaking to me, or the angels. So anyway, she told me, she said, you need to get all your ducks in a row. And I was like, well, what do you mean? And she goes, at that time, I wasn't planning on leaving. She goes, you need to refinance. You need to get your car paid off. So she was telling me all what I needed to do. And she goes, now you're going to go in and you're going to tell your husband to make an appointment at the bank, and you're going to do this. And I said, oh my goodness, how am I going to do this? Like, he's going to think I'm crazy. Anyway, she said, no, just trust us. So anyways, I go in the house, and I said to my husband, I said, I just had a visit from Mother Mary in the garden. And he goes, oh, so what did she say? And I said, I'm to phone the bank, and we're to go in and refinance everything. And he goes, okay, well, I'll make the phone call. Bam, boom, that was done. We refinanced. I got my car paid off. So anyways, and I still had no idea what was about to take place. Well, that spring, a baby bear, black bear, had ran through the gardens. And then by fall, that baby bear became like a yearling. And it came back, and it started, I'll never forget it. And my husband had woke me up and he said, come here, look, there's a bear out here. So we went out on the deck and we were watching it. Anyway, and I'm Bear Clan. And I knew that that bear, that spirit had brought me that bear to help me. And then everything became, when I say everything became very, like miracle after miracle, things, it was getting very abusive. And I had said, God, get me out of here. Just get me out of here. And anyway, everything started to happen. I was working from home. A friend had asked me, she said, move your business in. There's an opening at an office, move your business there. So that's what I did. And it's like the plan unfolded. And you know, probably as you know, Brenda, being self-employed, it's very hard for people, you know, to get, for someone to take you on as a tenant for rent. So I just said, okay, God, you got to line everything. I said, because I don't know what to do anymore. And anyway, and I kept being shown this condo for years. This condo had always stood out to me. And and a friend of mine who's retired police officer, he said, I don't want you in certain sections, like because he said drugs are really bad, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it worked out that this lady took me on as her tenant. And I'm telling you, I was so grateful. And I just thank God. And then to get me out, what happened was Archangel Michael, he'd say, okay, little one, tonight you're making movement. Well, making movement meant, okay, my daughter came with me. I had to watch for my husband, my son. There was only a handful of people that knew the plan. And I was going through the women's shelter for therapy and for guidance. And they were helping me there. And and then Archangel Michael, I didn't know how to get things out of the house because my husband at the time was on long-term disability and he would never leave the house. And I said, okay, God, you gotta, like, so we started like my mom's dishes, that kind of thing. Emily would wrap them in clothes and put them in the reusable bags. And then this one night, it was the plan, like I was leaving, that was it. I put money on the table with a letter and I said, Emily is coming with me and we have left and we're not coming back and we are safe. And then I left. Like I had things piled behind my car because I had to watch, like the outdoor lights would come on. The bedroom was at the front of the house. I had to be very careful because I didn't know what he was going to do. So anyways, we head to the condo and I had put no contact in order and the journey began and he had closed the bank accounts on me, so I had no access to money. There were certain things that he did, dirty things. He bought a sports car after he closed out the accounts. And I worked every day for 3 years, almost every day for 3 years. And I would work from 10 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. As soon as I walked in that office, it didn't matter whatever I was going through. I walked into that office and everything just opened up. And I love what I do. I'm very passionate. And that's where Reiki comes in. That's where readings come in. Reiki saved my life, I swear. And I was teaching Reiki and, you know, every time you do Reiki, you get a healing yourself. So when you're working on someone, you're getting a self-healing too. There's, you know, so it's a give and receive. So anyway, I did a lot of that. I did a lot of work. I was in therapy, deep therapy, trauma, PTSD. I still have PTSD, but every day I just work through it. It's just on a daily process where you go through it. So then we, he ran down the house so that the house would be lower and from my half of the house. And I knew what he was doing. And anyway, this one night, everything was supposed to be wrapped up in 2 weeks. Anyway, it got dragged into 2 months. My car was breaking down. So now they're messing with my income. And I prayed and I said, God, you got to help me. I don't know what to do. I couldn't get a mortgage. I couldn't get a car. I couldn't do anything. So anyways, that was it. I remembered the judge's name one night. It was, oh, I got chills. Still gives me chills. At 3 o'clock in the morning, I was woken up by Archangel Michael. He said, little one, get a pen and paper right now. And I want you to make bullet points because you're going to send an email to your lawyer and the ball is going to get rolling. Enough is enough. And that's how he would talk to me. I said, okay. So I'm writing down everything and I send that email to that lawyer, to my lawyer. And he sends me a message back. I agree, forward it to Pete's lawyer because we were under still no contact. So then the ball got rolling really fast. So then we had to go to court and I was awarded. That judge, thank God she was a female because she saw through narcissistic people and she was on my side for the first time in 3 years. I had somebody on my side in the courthouse. And she yelled at both those male lawyers and at my ex-husband. And she said, oh, I bet you're in, she goes, who's living in the matrimonial home? And my ex-husband's lawyer said, oh, my client is. And she goes, oh, so he's living in the matrimonial home, high in society. And I bet she's living in a tiny little apartment. And I had to keep moving because rent was expensive. At one point, my friend, there was something that had happened at the office and I was worried again. Like I felt like I knew I was being followed. So anyway, what happened was I told my friend and I said, if I go missing, this is who you will be looking for. And so anyway, she said, I want you to, you're moving in right now to the cottage. So anyway, I moved into her cottage and I felt safe there. And then she moved me into an apartment, but then there was a peeping Tom and he was after my daughter. Well, I went after him and anyway, he got arrested. It was, but in the meantime, through everything, I was taking my power back. I didn't realize that at the time because you don't realize it when you're in it. And I was like, okay. And we didn't have to go to court because he pleaded guilty. And anyway, I was getting my fire back. By this time, I was really getting motivated. So anyways, what happened? Okay, so then I moved to Sarnia. And I was able to buy a house in Sarnia. It needed a lot of work, let's put it that way. However, but my house represented me. It was broken down. It could have fallen down. And I resurrected that house back up as I did myself and my daughter. So we learned a lot about handling tools and, like the house really taught both of us. So then drugs were getting really bad where I was living. And I said, okay, God, I don't know. Oh, and then my brother was killed. And that, oh my God. So I was in a bad car accident in 2018. This is kind of where it all began too. I was in a really bad car accident and I hit a big deer, a buck, head on, going 95 kilometers per hour. I was in the hospital for 2 days, 2 nights, and they thought I had broken my back. I couldn't walk. And anyway, as soon as that physiotherapist walked into my room, after having many CT scans and x-rays and all of that, she walked into my room and I said, get me up walking. I need to walk. And she goes, okay, let's get you going. And I took my first steps and I was like, okay, I got to get into a new life. And you know what? The night of my accident, I was driving from Sarnia to Allenford. And I had said, God, I don't like these high payments on this SUV. It was a beautiful SUV. And I said, I don't like making these high payments. That night, around 11:11, I was in an accident, totaling my SUV, which got me into a smaller car, which got me into smaller payments. And I manifested that, like I manifested it. And I'm very good at manifesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and I learned all this through Diane Hill's courses, and she really helped me immensely. And so then I had the car accident. 3 months later, my brother was killed. And that there's a weird energy that goes through you when there's foul play involved, alleged foul play. And I had enough evidence to warrant the coroner to take possession of his body. Anyway, so not only was I grieving my brother plus a car accident, that led to, in the summertime, I was getting my deck built and I fell over the wood and I fell backwards and I got another concussion. And I was like, oh no. So then, and then 2 days later after that, I had another fall, which really hurt me immensely. And I cracked a rib and another concussion. And I was like, oh no, like, and it led to an enlarged heart. They found an enlarged heart because I couldn't get off the CT scanner machine. The two nurses had to help me. Immediately, they came and did an EKG and they found an enlarged heart. And I hadn't been feeling good for a long time. And I thought maybe it was the grief, the car accident, like I had a lot of internal damage. So my organs were still healing. And anyway, what happened, so I was seeing a cardiologist and I was going for all the testing, and on the intake form, I wrote, you know, my brother was killed. And I said, I know I have a broken heart and I'm working on healing it. And I did, oh man, I did Reiki. I did Reiki. People were sending me healing prayers. I did the emotional work. Like I went right down, like I was doing emotional freedom technique, EFT tapping. I was doing anything I could. I was walking, I would go driving and I would scream. I would go to sacred fires and I would go to healing circles, and I was doing everything that I could think of. And I was singing, I would sing, you know, hymns, and I would go for drives. Well, then they found, so as I was dealing with the enlarged heart, in May last year, just 3 days after my birthday, I was diagnosed with colon cancer. And I was like, okay, all right. Seeing the horrified look on my daughter's face that day I got the news, I was like, okay, I got to fight. Like, I've got to embrace the cancer. Okay. So this is another thing I'm going through. And I just had to keep rising up every day. Every morning, I tell myself, okay, today's a new day. You're going to rise up. You're going to put your big girl panties on and away you're going to go. And that's what I did. I rose up every day. And when I say that I was in, I felt like I was in a different dimension. Everything became very magical. The next day, after being diagnosed with colon cancer, I had to go for my mammogram at the hospital in Sarnia. And I drove around for the first hour. My brother, I could feel him in the car with me. And I was crying. I couldn't stop crying. Oh, it's gonna make me cry, sorry. And I walked into that hospital. And these nurses were cheering, and they were going, woohoo, woohoo, our friend survived cancer. And I'm like, well, I burst out crying. And I said, I've got cancer. I was just diagnosed with cancer. And they said, oh my God, honey. And then they all came and they just took my health card. And I said, I'm discombobulated right now. I said, I can't even find where to go for the mammogram. She goes, come on, come with me. She goes, I want you to know we have a really good unit here for cancer. And she said, I said, I'm doing everything holistically. It was like in that moment, boom, everything just came to me. I said, I have a really deep faith in God. And I said, you know, I have seen miracles on my table with other people. And I thought, you know, I really looked into that, and I held on to my faith so strongly that I just said, okay, God, I said, I'm choosing to live, because I had a choice whether to live or to die. And I said, okay, what do I need to do? And at that time, I had my mammogram, and a nurse helped me get out of the hospital because I, when you're going through that, because now your life, it's your life. And then I was put into a program, thank God. What was it, for between 6 and 8 weeks? You see a the surgeon, and to have a colonoscopy within that time frame, they have to get you in. So my nurse practitioner put me into that program, and so then I did a lot of emotional work. Like, I was doing affirmations every day. I made myself get up. I didn't feel like eating. My daughter helped me. Like, she said, come on, Mom, just, have some water, like have some soup, like that comfort food. So anyways, I said, okay, and I saw the horrified look on her face, and I thought, I've got to fight. I've got to fight this. Like, I've got to fight for my life. And because I didn't want to leave her by herself. So anyways, what happened, we'd go driving. She'd go, okay, no negative people are not allowed. No negativity. We watched happy movies, like The Secret. We watched happy movies. We laughed, we cried, we screamed. She was a huge support person, because there were times I just didn't feel like getting out of bed. My friends were sending me distant healing, on a Tuesday and a Thursday. And I swear to God, it saved my life. And when I saw the surgeon for the colonoscopy, like the consultation, he goes, let me check, like felt my stomach, and I was like, oh. And he goes, and I saw the concerned look on his face. I was like, oh no, this is really real. Like, I feel like I'm in the twilight zone right now. And all these miracles were happening all around me. Like, I was being led. I would hear songs on the radio. I was praying. Like, I prayed, and I would go driving, and I'd scream. And the biggest thing I had to do, I had to forgive. I went down, I made a list of all the people, places, things, situations that had hurt me and that I had hurt them. And whether you want to call it repenting, I had to repent. And I did that. And then it was like, and I even forgave, like right down to the real estate agent, and the people that had harmed me through my house experience that I was supposed to trust in. Like the home inspector, my real estate agent, anyway, I know like attracts and all of that. I had to work through a lot of that, and I had to forgive them. And my former husband, I forgave him. I released him. I released my son. I released everyone. I'm telling you, Brenda, the pain that was in my heart. And I forgave the woman who hurt my brother, traumatized. That was traumatizing. And I had to forgive her. I did a lot of work, and family. And I just went down the list, and I went walking. I hugged trees. I looked at the beauty. I looked at the beauty in different things, and I looked at the beauty in what people had taught me or situations had taught me. And I really worked really hard I just said goodbye. I'm not choosing this. And my body no longer accepts cancer in my body. Like, I talk to my body, and and a lot of screaming and a lot of yelling, and just to get that rage out. I didn't know I was so angry, and I was. And I used that anger. I used it to propel me forward and to push me. And then I had my colonoscopy, and the surgeon came in, and he goes, you don't have cancer. He goes, I didn't even find a polyp. He goes, you have no cancer. I was like, wow, yes, yes. Okay. So now I'm changing my life because now I've got the, like that. It was like he didn't ask me, well, what did you do? And I said, you know what? I worked really hard on those emotions and I healed it. And all that. And I was thanking God for all the people that were in my life that really helped me. And it was raw. And it was really interesting because now when I look back, it really helped a lot of people. And it gave them hope and belief, like my belief, like your sign does believe. Oh yeah, I embrace the word belief. I embrace so many words, Brenda. And then I got a calling. When was that? That was like August. I got the all clear. I didn't have colon cancer. And I thank God. Like I praise God every day. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then what happened was I got just, how you get that voice in your head. And I heard, little one, you're going to sell your house now. You need to list it. And so I listed it like the next day. It was listed. And I went through my house and I said, okay, house, you are worth this amount of money or more. I always added or more. And I said, God, please bring the right buyer. And that's what happened. And within 3 weeks, my house was sold. And in the meantime, so now my house is sold and I kept feeling that I needed to go to the East Coast. And I said, okay, God, I said, where do you need me to be? One night I yelled it. I said, okay, where do you need me to be? Where am I needed the most? And I got the East Coast. And it was time to work with the whales. I love whales. I've always had a connection to whales. And I thought I was moving to Nova Scotia. And then it was like Nova Scotia was moved right out of me. It was like I was in this box and God said it's New Brunswick. And anyway, I got a really good agent that I absolutely trusted because that was a big thing for me. And anyway, I ended up buying this beautiful Victorian home and I'm right across from the McAdam train station. And it is so beautiful. It is so peaceful here. And I didn't know there were mountains in New Brunswick. I am so happy here, but I got the calling. And you know what? When God gives you that calling, whatever it is, and wherever it takes you, you have to go, or you're going to have all these, I got chills, roadblocks put in your way. And there were no roadblocks. Everything, Brenda, everything, right down to the moving company was called Always Moving. And I just, okay, let's go, let's do this. Anyway, they loaded me up and my daughter and I moved here to New Brunswick. And it's so peaceful. It's a small community of about 1,300 people. It's called the Village of McAdam. And I just said, okay, God, why do I need such a big house? It's like 5-6 bedroom house. And it was, little one, just trust the process. And I said, okay, I'm going to just trust the process. And now it's going to be a B&B, like, because I feel like it needs to be a B&B. And I feel like the property called me here. And with the whales, I'm only 45 minutes from whale watching. I don't know if there's a program that I can take to be with the whales, like to work with them, or just to be in that energy. It is so beautiful. So I'm so close to the Bay of Fundy. I'm 45 minutes from there. St. Andrews is where for whale watching. And then I'm an hour and a half to St. John's, an hour from Fredericton. Like, I'm very central. Oh, and I'm only 7 kilometers from Maine. It is so beautiful here. And I know that's why God put me here and Emily, like, we're just both flourishing. It's like, I wake up in the morning and I'm so happy. I've never been this happy. In Sarnia, we were watching over our shoulders all the time. There was so much theft and murders and oh my God. And here, I'm at peace. I'm home. This is my home. And And you know what? I feel great. And I have no cancer. There's no cancer. My heart is healed. I healed my heart too.
Beautiful.
And so everything, I wake up and everything feels like magical. And I'm so thankful for this beautiful home. It's old. And I thought, oh my God, not another old house. Mine was like was built in 1890 in Sarnia. And this one, well, it's probably 30 years newer, but it's so beautiful.
They don't build
So
them like that.
I'm living my best life. I love kayaking. I can walk to a lake and there's 3 more lakes and I'm going kayaking. I can't wait till spring. I'm going kayaking. I need to be out on the water. So that's kind of my story. But you know what, when you trust, and the other thing I wanted to say too, when you trust the process, when you walk through that fear that could take your life, you walk through that fear, it is so bright on when you walk through that. And that's the difference. And like you know that, and I know that we don't know where we're going and we don't know how things are going to unfold. We're living in the moment and we just accept whatever comes our way. And because we know there's like an inner knowing within you that you can't shake it. You can't shake it.
Beautiful. So you're fresh in the house. How long have you been there now?
My daughter and I moved in here November 9th.
So
January, yeah, 3 months.
yeah, no, December, January, February, like exactly 3 months.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, it is. Yes.
Beautiful. Well, I have to say, Eileen, you absolutely are radiant, and everything that you've shared with us as a beautiful journey that you took. Ultimately, you're just glowing because of it all. You just glow.
Yes.
You're just radiant. So I absolutely love that, and thank you so much for sharing your story with us. So tell us also, what do you do now? What do you, aside from, looking towards the spring to do your wonderful recreation and that, what do you do for people? Are you seeing clients? And if so, what are you practicing?
Well, I'm doing a lot of readings, phone readings, on WhatsApp or Zoom or FaceTime or phone. And then a lot of distant healing, a lot of distant Reiki healing. And it's really interesting. When you come through that your journey, like your story, it's like you have other healing abilities that get very almost like electrified. And like people are saying, like every time you go through something, my hands, your cells change. And when you do the work on yourself, everything starts to change. Everything becomes very heightened, or it just becomes heightened. And people, like every time I go through something, and I know that because everybody resonates with different people in different situations. And right now, well, I had a dream that I'm going to become the mayor of McAdam. So I don't know when, or we've got a wonderful mayor. When we first moved here, I met him right away. And it's like I have these dreams. Like I'm taken to heaven sometimes and they show me things, like I'm sitting with the Ascended Masters. That was a fairly recent dream that I had. And I'm like I was given a booklet. And right now I'm being told just to be right now. It's like I'm gaining my energy for something that's coming. And it's about, let me see, it's about standing in my truth of who I am. And that resonates out. Like people don't even understand the power that they have. Like and even their thought patterns. I'm very good at manifesting. I can say, oh, okay, God, I want this, or I really am feeling like called to do that. It happens. It happens instantly.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I don't know where it's taking me, Brenda, but it's the healing gifts that I have, my hands. I'm just the conduit. God works through me, but there's healings that are happening.
Beautiful. So do you have a website, my dear?
Oh, I'm in the midst of that. I'm in the midst of getting a website up and running. Mhm. But I just like I don't do generalized readings. I get downloaded the information, or sometimes I see it psychically out in front of me. Or like you're probably noticing, I'm looking up quite often and they're telling me exactly like what to say. I think we're pretty similar in how we get, I got chills, in how we get our messages. But they were working with me all through the night last night. And it was like, okay, well, this is a key here and a key there. And okay, you need to say this, you need to say it. But that's how they work with me. And I'll just hear, okay, little one, today, this is what we're going to be doing. And like, and now I'm working on, so I have a double car garage out there, and I have this huge area. It's about 700 square feet. So I'm making it into an apartment. I don't know why, but again, God has been saying, okay, so it's gonna have like a fridge and a stove. I've got the contractor, I've got everything, but it's like God tells me exactly like what to do. And I don't know who it's for, but it's for somebody. And I don't know how it's gonna unfold because it's taken out of my hands. I'm just the conduit, and I don't know. So I don't know who's coming or what's gonna happen, but I'm just to believe. That might sound kind of crazy.
No, and I'd like to say that a couple of years ago, my guides started really pushing me to exchange all my crazies for extraordinary, because really that's what we have to recognize, right? It's not crazy, it's extraordinary. It's absolutely. And I think that that's kind of part of the conditioning and the programming that we've all been subjected to as these wonderfully extraordinary beings that we are. No, you're not extraordinary, you're crazy, or you're off, or you're normal, or you're nothing special, or whatever. And yet every single one of us is absolutely extraordinary.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And these,
So not crazy to me at all.
oh, okay, extraordinary. I like that. I like that. And these beings, like, oh, sorry,
Go
Brenda.
ahead.
These
And
beings, like before I left Sarnia, this one night, like spirit would just knock me out to have a nap. And then I would wake up and I'd go to Emily. Oh my God, Emily, we have to get in the car right now. And we got to go down Confederation Line right now. So in the car we go down Confederation Line, and there's this one area. We saw UFO one night. And I have it filmed. I'm like, oh my God, like all this extraordinary stuff is happening, right? And again, and then we saw the military jet flying towards where the UFO was. My new phone went crazy. It went like, it's almost like claw, like, like fingernails going down a chalkboard. And my phone got disconnected like that. And I had to get out of the vicinity of what was going on up there, but I have it all documented. And then we move here. And the night we were, I bought this house sight unseen. And so the night before I was signing my papers, my daughter and I got to come through the house, and there was this huge meteorite that went a shooting star right across the sky with a long tail. And we were like, oh my God. And she goes, oh, this is known for, like, McAdam is known for stargazing. And the night sky, oh my God, it is just unbelievable. Like, so we wrap ourselves up in blankets and we go out and we look at the night sky, and it's so beautiful. Like, I'm telling you, This is beautiful here.
Well, that would be like, number 14 on your list of things I love about my new life and house.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
It's just,
amazing.
it is. Like I don't know. I just love my house. And I love my
Loving your,
community.
yeah.
So yeah.
Love cures everything. Love conquers all, and love is all we need.
It really is.
Yeah. So Eileen, actually, I would say that you'll probably be very busy with your B&B. But I also feel like you're going to have, if it's okay for me to share this, but I also feel like you're going to have a tenant in your beautiful little spot. And it's funny, as we speak, I kind of have somebody in mind for you, which is kind of cool. Because absolutely, she just popped into my head when you were talking, and I thought, oh my Lord, that's just, I got to talk to her. I got to talk to you both about it. So we'll talk about it. But I know it's again, extraordinary. It's absolutely extraordinary.
It is.
How we met too, everything just comes together. And when you trust the process, it always falls into place. Everything does. And the more we understand that, and the more we believe that, the more solid that becomes, right? It becomes our truth and our experience. And so, being true to yourself and becoming that shining example of the I am that you are, absolutely remarkable for you too. Absolutely. Yeah, that just covers it all. Is there anything you'd like to share about current times? Anything you'd like to maybe, encourage or empower people with, given our current situation? Today's February 10th and 216. So it's a 9-day, which is beautiful. We see a lot of movement in this country right now. And now that you're on the East Coast rather than in the thick of it all here in Ontario, you probably feel a much different energy, but still the ripples, right? Like the ripples are moving across this nation in a wonderful way, an incredibly empowering and encouraging way. People are active. They're off the couch. They're in Ottawa. They're driving up, everybody's coming from all over. And I'm so pleased. I'm so proud. And I'm so truly thankful that this is occurring. And as we've moved through all of this, I mean, you had like the worst kind of medical stuff to go on in the middle of this kooky pandemic crap.
Yes.
I mean, that right there would have been my biggest fear. Like, holy crap, I don't want to go to a hospital right now. Like, you know what I mean? And yet, like totally surrendering and being subjected to it. So what do you, because as you said, we moved through fear. Fear isn't, something we can't get through. We need to empower ourselves by moving through the fear so that we realize it's just a state of mind, really, right? It's nothing more than or an energy that's offering you an opportunity to become stronger, right? And more empowered. So what can you share with us today, Eileen, before we get ready to wrap this up?
Well, it's really interesting so I'd been following the truckers convoy, and when they were coming through the East Coast, I said to my daughter, I said, I woke her up one morning and went flying up the stairs, and I said, Emily, I said, I have to go. I've got to go. I've got to be on that overpass, and I have to be waving in all 4 directions. And she goes, okay, Mom, I'm coming. So down the stairs she goes, we pack her stuff, get the dog in the car too, and off we go. We find out where they're going to be through the East Coast. And here it was in Lincoln, New Brunswick. And I said, Emily, we have to be on the overpass. Well, we were just kind of on the edge of the overpass, but to be in that vibration, and I remember this one nurse, like when I'm called to go somewhere, it's for everyone. It's not just for mandates and vaccine, like it's not it's for the Indigenous people. It's for the nurses, the doctors. It's the ones that are exhausted. It's the ones, my friend both her parents just died. They just died a month ago, 2 weeks apart. And you know what, Brenda, I had the most awful feeling. I had the same feeling. I don't even know if I should be sharing this on your show right now, but I guess I'm getting called to do that. That weird vibration went through my body again, that when my brother died. And all of I got was, oh my God, there's going to be a class action lawsuit of all the people that were not given the medicines. I got chills. That were not given the medicines that would have cured them. And they're dead. And I was like, oh my God. I said, okay, God, okay. Anyway, I ended up sharing that with my friend who lost her parents. And you know what? It's going to be, Brenda, it's going to be so big. It's going to be so big. People have no idea the scope. And I was called, and there was this one nurse towing her 3 little kids behind her, and she lost her job because she wouldn't get taxed. And I thought, that's not right. And you know what? It's the principle of it. And all these people, like the economy. And it's interesting because my parents, as a little girl, were sharing this information with me at that time. They have been preparing. I got chills. They were preparing me even as a little girl because they knew I was different from the rest of the family. And I stood with those people. There was at least 1,000 people that day, and all those little children. And I was like, you know what? We're standing up for our children and our grandchildren and great grandchildren. Like, we're standing up for all people. It doesn't matter your color, your skin. It doesn't matter what you've been through. It doesn't matter. You know what? It's really interesting because it just showed that people are full of love. It's not about hatred. It's about love. And, it's interesting because God won't put, sure, there's going to be people there to create the chaos. But you know what? Through the chaos comes the clarity. But you know what else I got told through Spirit the other day was this. I was told that that this, what, okay, wait, I got to get the right words. Okay. That by this happening, it's the full exposure and disclosure of Justin Trudeau, the elite. And it's like when I'm telling you, because how they were showing it to me, when a knitted blanket and you cut that one end and it's everything, and I get chills, and the unraveling has sped up even more. It's faster. And now the more it's always gaining momentum, but it's even more so now. And it's like it's almost like with every person that's awakening or has awakened through, especially through this, oh my God, people have no idea. They can put out these bad intentions, but I just kept sending love. And I've been telling everybody, send love, send love, send love, send love and healing, and keep your vibes high. Because we have to keep our vibrations high. Play music, dance, do whatever you need to do. And then sometimes it feels like just recently, it felt like I was in mud, walking through the mud. And I thought, okay, so that means probably something underground was surfacing, brought into the light. That's kind of how I kind of see it. But that's what they were telling me. So now the whole world has seen the truth about Trudeau. And we were just standing in a place of love, but do you see how it happened? Like from all countries. And that's what they were showing me all week. They've been showing me this all week. And I do stand, and it was nice to see Indigenous people standing too, because you know what? And then what popped into my head just before we got online was, maybe a lot of other truckers that weren't of the light have taken a lot of women and children. there's that part of it too. And it was like, but look at, I believe that when you can shine your light, you open the hearts. And to be in that vibration, it's love is stronger than hate. And the people, everyone was so afraid, and the fear. It's like the truth, everything is being unraveled, and the truths are coming into the light. It's full disclosure.
Yeah.
Is that
And
how
the
you
truth
feel?
Absolutely. Yeah. The truth shall set us free. And when you know it, just like you said, that one thread, each layer of that, like each row of that blanket is a truth. It's not just one truth, it's all the truths coming out, every bit of it. And like you said, the elite stuff and all the stuff that most people don't even know, mostly because they just see the outside of the blanket, right? The beautiful satin edging. And that's all they see and touch and hold on to. Start ripping that shit apart, pardon my French, and like it becomes raw. And it's not always comfortable, but it's necessary, like nobody wants to experience a little bit more pain in order to find the relief. But when you realize that's kind of what has to happen, you're okay with it, right? Like you come through. It's very much like birth, right? It's very much like childbirth. It's extremely painful. And then when it's all over and done with, the love takes over and you don't remember any of the other stuff. Doesn't matter because it transmuted into love, right? It transmuted. It's an incredible opportunity for all of us to wield the most powerful weapon in the universe. And that is love and light, right? Truth, love and light.
It really is.
It's a beautiful thing.
And to stand united as a united front. I'm sorry, I missed that.
I said you're a beautiful thing too.
Oh, thank you. So are you. Well, you're getting the information out there.
I'm trying. And that was kind of important to me. I wanted, because it's all about truth for me right now. I really wanted everybody to have an opportunity to tell their truth, right? Because so many people are being censored. So many people aren't allowed to speak their truth. So many people are just learning how to speak their truth and things like that. So this my guides kind of came in and said, it's time you do this kind of idea. We've been kind of dabbling with this a little bit here and there, but we really needed to dedicate ourselves to this experience. And so we have been talking to incredible people such as yourself to hear their truth, to hear how they were true to themselves and how, that is really, that's the goal. That's what we're here to do. The I am that I am, the I am is everything. Anything you place, as you know, after the words I am, you become. Jesus even said that. I am the way. I am is the way. I think that with the distortion and the manipulation of our language and the Bible and certain scriptures and things like that, that there were certain key elements taken out, omitted, whatever, of course, as we know. And I think that there's one part to that statement, that one verse, that is left out, and that is that the I am is the way. Not that he is just the way. He is too, but you can still get to God, not necessarily always through Jesus. Not everybody has that chance or that inclination. So because we have free will, I believe everybody gets the chance to choose if they want to go through Jesus or they want to go straight to the source. It's up to you. Yeah. It's up to us. That's this beautiful being that we are, right? So always a pleasure sharing time and light with you, Eileen. Absolutely.
Oh, thank you.
Underwood. You got to change your name now on the thingy there. It says.
Oh, does it? Oh, heck. Okay, I have to do that. It's so nice to be home, like it in my own name. Isn't it beautiful? When you back to my right. Maiden name.
You to who you are originally, who you were. Yeah. That I think is because the natural original, state of being is kind of what we're all experiencing right now, or at least hoping to keep for ourselves.
Yes, but I do. You know what, Brenda? I do.
Not panic.
Oh, you're breaking up. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I do believe there's a lot of good coming.
Yes, there is.
I do. Yeah.
What's your forecast? Do you have a forecast energetically, psychically?
For this year,
What do you see?
I really pick up on Vancouver very strongly. How I look at things, I guess, is I have been getting a lot of death. And I don't know if I should be saying that or not. But I have been, oh my gosh, for these last 2 days, it's like I can't shake it. Like I'm not hearing knocking on my walls or pictures aren't falling off the walls or anything like that. But I just keep getting, I got chills. I just feel death. And for some reason, I keep being taken to Vancouver. It's almost like where there's a lot of greed. I feel, ooh, I just got chills. Where there's a lot of greed. You know, who's popping into my head as you say that is Bill Gates. And I feel there's a lot, oh gosh, I got chills, freezing cold. Let me see. It's like Trudeau, then there's Bill Gates, and then there's like all these, it's like to my left, I got chills. It's almost like, so, okay, so the left is the future. So I feel like there's more uncovering of, what they showed me was like the exposure of Justin Trudeau. And that was for the whole world to see, and his weaknesses that he runs, okay? And I keep hearing all he needed to do was to come out or talk to the truckers. But he's so focused right now on these mandates. And it's because he's been bought. And I got that so strongly. He's been bought by China. And along with like probably most of the countries. And I don't know, I just get this, it's just this really strong feeling. It's almost like, you know, I got chills. It's almost like we're on the brink. It's like, it's like we're on the brink. It's like we're on the brink of communism. And then something happens, a turn of events happens. I got chills. I don't know what it is yet. They haven't, I got chills. Okay, hold on. They haven't showed that to me, but it's like we're on the brink. Oh. It's like all of this over here, like the elite people, and their countries, like, and I keep getting a lot with the US. There's going to be a lot of change in the US. Okay. And it's like Canada and the US. And is it Russia? I don't know. I'm not sure. Is the USSR, is that Russia? Okay, because I'm being shown the USSR is Russia.
I don't think.
What's that?
So now I don't think it's called the USSR. We grew up with it knowing it as that, but when the wall came down, I believe that dismantling took place and they don't call it the USSR. No, I don't believe they do anyway. I may be mistaken.
Okay, because they're printing it out. Okay, so it's Russia. Okay, so I feel like it's those three countries, especially those three countries. And I feel like we're all like on it's like something else is going to take place. And then it feels like oh, I got chills. Ooh. And then it's like we're on the cusp where there's something. So it's like there's something in between. Okay. That's what they're showing, how they're showing it to me. I don't know if this makes any sense to you. Okay. And then it's like, oh, like I got chills. It's like we're all taking oh, that was so close. Like, you know what? Okay, what they're showing me, it's like those doctors, like the Nuremberg trials. I feel like once that kicks off and that starts happening, like all of like it again, it's like those strands, right? I feel like that's what the middle, I got chills and freezing cold, and I feel, okay, okay, that's what they're showing me. And then all these lawsuits will be impactful on everything. Oh gosh, I got chills. That means something to me. Okay, that means I'm in the right direction. And I feel like that has to take place. Okay, what's the word? It's, I get chills. It's crucial. But there's another word for it. It's like it's crucial. And it's like that wide, Brenda. So it's like we're here. And it's those 3 countries. And then bam, I'm telling you. And I feel like Germany and Sweden, like the UK is on our side. I don't know if that makes sense, any sense. That's what they're showing me. Oh, she's gone. Oh.
Sorry about that, honey. You know what happened?
What happened?
My internet crapped out on me here. Sorry. So what I'm going to do, because that's still recorded, I'm going to just splice on an ending, if that's okay with you, if you don't
sure.
mind.
Sure.
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize that was happening. I thought it was okay, but it seems like it just kicked out my network. So let me just finish this. Oh, it is recording. Oh, never mind. We'll splice that part out instead. Okay. Oh, but there you are. Lovely, like again. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, you were saying about how you feel like we're at this cusp and that there's going to be some sort of a relief afterward. So, and we don't really know when that is, because it's not time that Timex can tell us. It's time that God tells us, right?
Yeah.
God, a completely different band than we do. I found anyway. God says now, that could mean like 6 months from now, right? Don't hold your breath, but just do it. Just keep doing it. So that's awesome. But I also see that love is the way. And like you said, the corruption is being, exposed in a big way. And it's really, I think that's the point, right? Like it's maybe we can't necessarily find, a conclusive ending or outcome from this, right? Psychically yet, because I don't believe it's actually come together fully yet. Not in the space around the timeline that we're on. I mean, obviously in the future it's there, but I would say that, that there's an enormous amount that people just didn't know. Like they didn't realize how, like, for instance, I just shared a video, 1 minute and 5 seconds of Klaus Schwab, as you know, the founder of the World Economic Forum, that these 193 countries of the United Nations have signed up to be a part of this agenda. And here he was sitting there talking to somebody and talking about how very proud he was of Justin Trudeau and of how that they have, the World Economic Global leaders, young leaders, haven't penetrated our cabinet, and over half of our cabinet are young global leaders of his organization. Like, you're not on died. You work for him. You do not work for the Canadian people anymore. You've been bought. Like, and so this all has to come out. The fact that Gates and Trudeau are tight, Trudeau and the Clintons are tight. I mean, there's no coincidences. There's absolutely no coincidences. So people looking at that go, well, gee, that's kind of weird, right? Well, it's because it's real. It's truth. It's truth, and it's coming out. So absolutely imperative for this time, this, absolute exposing of corruption. And it's been dominoes, right? It's been because it started in the States. It started in the States. It's moved its way north of the border to here. It's going to make its way around the world. Like eventually we see what's happened in Kazakhstan, places like that. Like the whole government just ran. They fled the country. They're like running for their lives, No, like it's a lot different over there. So I would be running too if it was me. I think cut your tongue out for lying. Imagine what's going to happen to these people. Anywho, and that's, I don't know for sure, but there's a lot of places that still do that. I mean, there's places in the Middle East. Let's be real. Like there's places in the Middle East that people like you and I, they take you out once a week and you can watch us get beheaded. People like you and me out there. Like it's still happening. They're so afraid of our gifts and our abilities and all of that stuff, but that's all also part of the plan, part of the oppression. The whole dumb them down, don't let them know that they're divine beings who could be, in connection constantly with the creator. Don't let them know any of that. Keep them simple, keep them insignificant, keep them separated and abandoned, and all those wonderful traumatic experiences we feel we've had that really were all, again, like fear, just an illusion. Just an illusion. But yes, absolutely. And I do agree that it's imperative that, this exposure happens. I do believe also for myself that full disclosure when it comes to, any kind of what they call them now, unidentified aerial phenomena. We don't call them UFOs anymore. They're called unidentified aerial phenomena. So UAPs and all of that stuff. I truly believe we've been red pilled all along, right? Microdosed everywhere, all the time. That way they can say, well, we didn't not tell you it's true. We didn't tell you it was, but we also didn't tell you it wasn't, right? So it just kind of sidelines in there. And that's very much a play of the dark, right? Like it's very much a, well, we're not going to admit it, but what you find out on your own, well, yeah, okay. That kind of idea, right? Like they've just been doing it to us all along. So Gates and Schwab and George Soros and all of these people, they are going to come out. Like you guys got to piece the dots together to see the bigger picture, put all the pieces of the puzzle in so that you can see it, and it's not necessarily the prettiest picture, but it's one of revealing pictures. Those pictures you look at and you go a little out of focus and you see all kinds of stuff hidden there, right? There's wonderful little shapes and whatever size geometric pieces there are, and then you look and you kind of blur your vision a little bit, go a little psychic on yourself, and bam, there's a spaceship in there. Look at the dinosaur. That's what we're living right now, I think, anyway, right? You just
I agree.
I don't know, my world, it's a weird one, but anyway. Wonderful, that's where we are. Hopefully I can piece this stuff together, this beautiful little video. I'm just learning how to do all this stuff, so bear with me when I do. We might have to put it in 2 segments, Eileen, but nonetheless, we did manage to get our beautiful interview together, done, and I am truly grateful for you in my life, for you in life, for you doing what you do, and just for the life of you, Eileen. Absolutely, I'm truly thankful and grateful to Creator and God for you and our connection for sure, and what you do for everyone. I mean, one day I'd like to get into another conversation with you where you can share your story about the events that unfolded around the New York City subway bombing.
Oh,
because you were, you made an impact in that as well, and people don't realize that people like you and I get called on and often are not just validated, but respected, right, by some of these law enforcement officials who know just because they can't figure out how you do what you do doesn't mean what you do isn't valuable. And that's a key. A lot of police forces work with psychics and mediums and those with special gifts because they're too much in their left side, right? Way too much in the left side. With the other side, we can bridge the gap, right? And I think that's very powerful. And it certainly isn't work that a lot of us enjoy doing so much as doing it because it's necessary. It's kind of like cleaning the toilet. Nobody really wants to deal with the shit, but somebody do it. All right. So one day I'd love to have you back on and we can chat about some of the other incredible experiences you've had with your gifts and how God has led you to be assisting in so many other ways and other places as well. So if you're open to that, I'd love to arrange another call another time.
Yeah, sure. That'd be nice. Thank you. Thanks for having me on your show.
So, and if anybody are you open to, outsiders contacting you for readings or
Oh,
healings?
absolutely.
For
You
info,
can pass my number on to them.
Go ahead.
Oh, you can pass my number on to them
Okay.
if you'd like, or my email address is fine too. So yeah.
Well, I'll put the 2 email addresses in the description and they can contact you that way. And
Oh,
anybody
perfect.
ask me, I'll pass your number along.
Oh, that's great. Okay. Thank you.
And thank you once again for the time, sharing it and your truth and your light, for sure, your love. So yeah, absolutely. We'll round this up. I've taken enough of your time today, my dear. God bless you.
No worries. Yeah, God bless you too.
Definitely connect again. Thank you all for joining us today. Whoever is going to watch this, I didn't open the chat. I didn't get to announce it to others, but the next one we will definitely, because I'm going to try and stay out of Facebook jail this time so I can actually post it. It's not going to be easy, Eileen. I'm just telling you right now. But
that's so funny. Oh my God.
Out there for us to share with others. So God bless you, my dear. And
God bless you. Have a nice day. Okay. See ya. Love ya. Bye.